and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, and I am here with Chris Edwards, and we are here. I am here every day except for Sunday. Chris is with us every Thursday and Friday, and we are here on this amazing day today. Guess what today is? Guess what today is? We are celebrating 2 years of Touch Base Daily. 2
And
years.
let's hold on for everyone in the community. Let's wish Mr. Ron Foster a happy birthday. Happy 60th, my friend.
Thank you. Here we go. Here we go.
How does it feel to be 60 years young? Yes.
60 years young.
Did I turn it on? I guess I turned. Oh, there we go. There we go. Let's get all the love. There you go.
There we go. Is it happening? There we go. You can't see me. There we
There you
go.
go.
Gotta put those thumbs down. It's so good to be here, guys. I'm so excited. I cannot, it's so fun. I gotta tell people, I have my close friends that I talk to about being 60, and now I can actually say I am 60. So I mean, like, I'm heading towards 60. I'm heading towards 60. So I am now officially 60 years old, and this is also an amazing day because I started Touch Base Daily on my 50th birthday, and
58th birthday. 58th birthday.
58th birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, you said 50th.
Oh, no, I meant 50.
You haven't been doing it 10 years, friend.
50, wait, 50, 58, 5,
Yeah.
8. And so we are on our 2nd year anniversary on this wonderful platform. We each year we keep getting better and better as a community. We step it up. We have all these new people in the community, new faces, new challenges, new, it's amazing. And I would like to, and someone mentioned something to me this morning. My phone's been ringing off the hook. My text messages have been like going crazy.
People love you, my friend.
It's so good to be loved. And so it's been really cool to see the love. And but one of the things is that someone said to me this morning, they said, you know what, Ron, you make 50s and 60s look good. They were like, you live your 50s life. Oops, I got someone calls me. No one calls me. No one called me out there. But the 50, they said, Ron, you live your life freely. And I said, you know what? I do love living life. I believe in living your best life. And I hope in this next decade of living that I want to maximize it to let people know when you are 60 years old or better, life doesn't end. We're just getting started. We are just getting started. I feel so amazing. I feel like so many new opportunities are gonna happen, and just because you turn 50, because you turn 60 doesn't mean you just hide away and roll away into the dust lands. No, you take the world by the horns and you just do it. So
listen, the best years are ahead of you, my friend.
So thankful. So
you are living your best life.
Who's in the building today? Let's see who's in the building. Miss G's in the building. She says, happy birthday, Ron. That's my work wife. There's my Omar. Omar's in the building. Lauren is in the building. Mr. Jamel Shabazz says, my brother, happy birthday, 60. Yes, indeed. Chris Brad is in the building. What's going on, Chris? And who else is in here? Chrissy Corner is in the building. She says, good morning. Mr. Bryson's in the building. What's up, Ron? What's up, Chris? What's up, RLP fam? What's up, CQ fam? Yes, right. A shout out to all the CQ folks out in here. Also, who else is here? Daya is in here. My Daya.
Hey, Daya.
Daya, sending hugs. Daya. I just covered my mic. Sorry. Daya. Brian Young is in the building. Lisa's in the building. What's going on, folks?
All the peeps are here today.
Everyone's in the house. Everyone's in the house. That is cool. Look
at all that birthday love that's flooding the timeline here.
What's going on in Instagram? Let's see what's happening in Instagram. Is Instagram live? Oh,
Let's see.
it hasn't gone live yet. I'm turning it on now. I said, oh, here it goes. I just turned it on. You know, the Instagram.
Yep.
I don't know if you're on or you're not. So anyway, we are now live on Instagram. So people on Instagram, if you're in Instagram, come on over to our YouTube channel. That's where life is. And you know, I said this morning, I was going to use this as a vehicle to share this YouTube channel. So I said, you know what? Why not put out there turning 60, and I'm inviting you to join our YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
So far, we have 20 new YouTube channel subscribers.
Today?
Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome. Call to actions.
Call to action.
Always work. They always work.
So Jamel says the place to be. Thank you, Jay, Mr. J. So Chris, what's going on in your world, sir?
Oh man, it's Friday. Of course, there's drama in the world, but you know,
in the world. But
I'm gonna handle it. I'm gonna handle it. You know, listen, the world never gives you more than you can handle. So you know, I'm gonna handle it.
Handle, as they say, handle your biz. Handle your biz.
That might sound a little I don't even know what the word is.
We have an inside conversation going on.
Yeah,
but
it'll be a public conversation soon enough. But
but you know what? So today is our Focus Friday, and so what we're gonna be doing is talking Project 2025. But before we get to Project 2025, there's some new stuff that's happening in the world. So first of all, I would like to say we're back on the moon.
Yes.
All you geeks out there, I mean, geeks like myself that get excited about being in space and space flight and Mars and all the other stuff. Well, we are back on the moon as human beings. Americans, we are the first to make it to the, I think is it the South Pole?
Dark side of the moon, on the south side,
on the edge of the South Pole,
the south side, because that's where they think they found water.
Ice.
So that's
ice.
So that's where they want to be, because they want to be able to colonize. I can't say the word now. Colonize on that side, yes, on that side of the moon, because there's water. Water also provides not just life, but also will be as a accelerant for fuel,
space travel. And also they said they think there will be also in that area fuel for space travel.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because of water there's more likely they'll be able to use it for fuel.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
So I was watching that late last night, but I didn't see if they got the actual first pictures back yet. It was delayed coming in, and
no, they got
I went to bed like around 12.
This morning.
Oh, they released it this morning? Okay, I didn't see it yet.
CNN, they have it.
Okay.
I see Dea says, I'm one of those that think we never went to the moon.
Come on, people.
My godmother, God bless her soul, as they say, God bless her soul, because she's not with us any longer.
Bless her heart.
But she swore to the day she died, you know, we never went to the moon. Human beings have never gone to the moon. I was like, I think we have. And yes, but we are on the moon again, United States. Yes, we need to make sure we take care of problems here on Earth, but it is also, people don't realize that because of the space program, a lot of the technology and some of the foods we have, and I know processing food is not good for you, but some of the things that we have that we've accumulated knowledge on is because of the space program.
Yeah.
So the space program has really been a great vehicle for humanity and mankind. So
the other thing that was so important about that landing was that because over the last several months, over the last year, there have been a lot of I think like 6 or 9 failed attempts to land on the moon, all in private industry and other nations. So this was the first successful one since 1950?
1959 or 1960.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So it's been a while since human beings have ventured to that portion of the outer worlds.
So I'm excited about it. I like that. And Kimmy says, it flew up too fast. Okay, a co-worker's brother was an astronaut. Really, Kim?
Oh,
look at that. We got astronaut royalty in the building. Let's see. Here's Brian says. Here we go, Brian, because Brian's a geek like we are. He says that exactly. Velcro, Tang, better ballpoint
Hang.
pins. Yeah, ballpoint pins were created because of the space program. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we use today that we take for granted, but it was the space program that gave it to us. Who else is in the building? Good morning. Good morning. Omar says in 1975. That was the last time. So 1975 was our last voyage to the moon. Let's see here. I see Trish is in the building. What's going on, Trish? Debbie Quinn is in the building. Good to see you all. And yeah, so the next thing on the news docket for today to keep your eyes on the news is let's get there. The federal government to begin the formal process of preparing for another partial shutdown.
Every 2 to 3 months, we're going through this. And this time it seems even more dire because they are currently in recess. I believe March 1st is the date, and they don't actually go back to work until Wednesday.
Yes. So another more of a dysfunction government that we have. And you
trash.
I'm not because I need more time for 2025. I'm not going to.
We'll say trash and moving right along.
And then the other thing that's in the news today is Wendy Williams' family reveals heartbreaking toll of her health issues in harrowing document.
Here's the thing. I don't believe it wasn't her family that released her medical condition. It was her conservatorship and the medical staff that's doing it, because her family has had no access to her.
Right, that's what I heard.
They're not allowed to contact her. The only way that they can communicate with her is if she calls them. If they try to call her from the interview that I saw yesterday, they told them that no one by that name is here.
Yeah, and my question is, who are the conservatory?
It was appointed by the courts. My thing is, like, why not let a family member, because her sister stepped up to say, I would, be in charge of it. And they just bypassed the entire family. She has a son. She has nieces, nephews. She has a sister. Why is it that they couldn't?
That is the weirdest. I don't understand. What do you call it?
Conservatorship.
Say it again.
Conservatorship.
And because even like with Britney Spears.
Yeah.
I don't understand how these people take over other people's lives. How is that possible? It's
crazy, but so here's the thing. Like, there's a 2-part series coming out this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Where is Wendy Williams? And it's knowing that now, it's so sad. And here's the other thing people need to understand. I don't think that the family is exploiting her. That's my personal opinion. She has signed a 3-deal contract with Lifetime to produce 3 shows. Mm-hmm. This is the 3rd one, and she said she wanted to do it. Granted, yes, she's now in a little bit of mental decline because of the aphasia, I believe it's called. And then also the frontal lobe dementia.
The same one that Bruce Willis has. Dementia.
She wanted this to be out there. It's just unfortunate. And listen, for anyone that knows family members that have gone through dementia, you know how hard it is, and especially on the family. And the fact that they didn't even know, and they weren't allowed to really even be there, it's really sad. Like, I think that this is a sad state of affairs when it comes to her and just everything that's been going on with her. Like, she's got enablers, and like one of the clips was somebody was there with the bottle, and he was like, "No, why are you drinking all this?" And she's yelling at them to leave it there. But it's just sad. It's really sad.
The comment. I think it was one of the news interviewers to her sister. I think was interviewing her sister, and said that this documentary is very hard to digest. Now, I don't have Lifetime, so I won't be able to see it until it's on Hulu later on. But I heard it is rough. But
yeah, I mean, just the clips that they showed, like, you can see her mental decline. Like, she's not fully present. She's not there. She does not seem like her normal self. And speaking of someone who had a family member that had dementia, I know what that is. My grandmother had it. She had it for quite a while, and you know, a lot of times you have like the same conversations with that person over and over again.
Yeah.
Their short-term memory is completely shot. Their long-term memory tends to be really good, but they're a shell of what they were and what you know of them, and it's very depressing. It can be very depressing because you know that that's your loved one, and you know that they're in there somewhere, and then to have people around you and to take advantage of that, it's sad. It is really sad.
So it's just so sad. But again, you know, all you can do is I mean, in this case, I know, you know, a cliche is prayers and just thoughts, but definitely lots of prayers necessary, and for the family, for all the people that are involved. It's just so sad that, again, but it seems that the sister, like I said, she's been interviewed on a couple of programs, so she's kind of like been really in on this documentary. So
even her niece,
so oh no, that's right, it wasn't her sister, it's her niece.
Yeah, because she was on The View yesterday. She was on The View yesterday.
She was also on ABC. Was it Good Morning America? Good Morning. Good Morning.
Was it GM3?
I think it was GM3. Yeah, it was one of the GMs. Okay, so what else is in the news? And then we're gonna go right into our conversation. I need Elise to send me could you text me your email, please? Or Chris, you could send her
I can send her the DM. I can send her a DM. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Okay, you can send her, because Elise is gonna come on today, and we're gonna be talking about Project 2025. So if everybody did their homework, if not, we got enough knowledge here to help you out. Let's see here. What else is in the news today? Oh, you know something really exciting about Brooklyn today? Brooklyn Paramount will officially reopen on March 27th with a new capacity of 27,000 guests. I can't even believe they must mean 2,700. Maybe, yeah, that's gotta be 20. Is it 27? It can't be 27,000. 2,700 guests.
So at least if you're in the room, I just sent you a DM. Just check it. Remember to copy and paste out of there into your Chrome browser.
Yeah. So Brooklyn Paramount is coming back to Brooklyn. So for those that don't know, Brooklyn Paramount was the thing in the 60s and well, really the 50s, because I do believe it closed in 1962 when LIU converted to a gym. But back in the day, Paramount, all the great singers, all the soul, all of the R&B, Motown were all at Brooklyn Paramount. So it is back in action. Brooklyn Paramount will be back open come the 27th. And I think we covered it all. Let's bring Elise on. What's going on, Elise?
I think Bryson, I'm going to send Bryson an invite also. I think he wants to join.
Oh, Bryson? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, we also have Brian that wants to join. And,
sorry, Brian. That's what I meant. Sorry, Brian. That's what I meant.
Brian. Okay, there you go, Brian. Okay, there you go. And so yeah, what's going on, Elise? Are you there?
She's here.
Can you all hear me?
I hear you now.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you all this morning?
Good morning.
You got just a little feedback there.
Yeah, I'm getting some feedback too. Wait a minute. Maybe I think I know what it is. Okay.
Okay. So
I was watching it on the other side and I forgot to disconnect it.
So we're all here. The whole gang is here. Okay, what else is being chatted about in this feed? Laura,
I sent Brian the link.
I see here. Let me go into this little area. I like having you guys. I like posting your chats in here. Yeah, Lisa. She says she has the same version. She has the same version of dementia that Bruce Willis has. It is a very severe kind of dementia, and it affects people that are under 60 when you get it. So yeah, it's a rough one. Grand Risings, I see here.
Hey Ron.
Yes, sir.
Top banner.
Yep, gotta take that. There was the reason why I went to this little area. I was like,
you cut yourself off.
I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, why am I in my banner, my branding section? And I'm like, See, just lost it that fast. So I see in
Just because
here.
you're
So,
60.
yeah, 60, right? Now I can blame everything on
That
the
age.
60s.
Happy birthday, Ron.
I can blame everything on the 60s. So, but yeah, so guys, so we're gonna just dive right in because it's such an important conversation. And I mean, Elise is very passionate about this. I mean, I think Elise is the one that really kind of like put me onto it. I mean, I knew of it, but you put me on to it. And so all week I've dug into the study of it, and I read it before, but then I went and did some more depth studies because you can go into a rabbit hole. Well, this time I
Yeah.
actually went to a
Yes.
rabbit hole. I went to many rabbit holes. For those that don't know, let me just put it on the screen what we're talking about. Let's get that here. Where are we? Here we go. So we're talking Project 2025. And for those that don't know what this is, it is a game plan for what the country will look like when the Republicans, or they consider themselves the Conservative Party, takes lead in the presidency. And it is
Can I read the brief description because I had it pulled up?
This is group
All right.
participation.
Yeah, Project 2025 is a plan to reshape the executive branch of the U.S. federal government in the event of a Republican victory in the 2024 U.S. presidential election. Established in 2022, the project seeks to recruit tens of thousands of conservatives to Washington, D.C. to replace existing federal civil service workers it characterized as quote-unquote deep state to further objectives of the next Republican president. So basically, they're just trying to dissemble the federal government as we know it.
Yeah.
And we'll go into all the details of what they're planning to do. They literally have a website and a plan outline of what it is they want to do.
It's in plain sight.
This is not behind the scenes, people. This is in broad daylight. Everything that they used to do in the dark is out in the light for you to see. So it's just a matter of you going and reading this stuff.
And since we're on it, I have it already queued up. So I wanted to make sure people can see where this is if you decide you want to know what it is, because it is something you should know about. And there it is, the Project 2025. It has their own website, and you can apply. It has all kinds of levels. It is based on these pillars, and we'll talk about that as well. But it is when you read all of the people that are involved in this creating, and this began back in the Reagan years, and but when Trump came into office, it went into full gear in I do believe April 2023
or 2022.
2022. They started working on 2022.
2022, April 2022. Thank you. And so it is, if you don't know about it, you can go online. One is Wikipedia does a great outline of what Project 2025 is about. So a lot of this will come from on my end from my time on Wikipedia. But also I also download, obviously, me, the nerd that I am, I also downloaded the from their website there. So,
yeah, the manual.
Yeah. The manual. So, but it's a lot to read. So, but I mean, but yes.
Let's check and see if you see Brian. He was trying to get in.
Oh, I do see. I think Brian is. I see four. No, Brian's not here yet. Not yet.
Okay, so I told him to make sure he's doing it in the Chrome browser. So give him a second, but just keep an eye out. He's going to join in.
So the first resource that you're going to definitely look at, because again, they are saying exactly what they mean. There's no I think they're saying this. No, they are saying exactly what they're. I don't know why this is not being in. This should be in mainstream media like every day.
It's on cable news. I mean, but that's about it.
Cable, right? Some.
Yeah. Like MSNBC has covered this.
Yeah. I think that's where I think it was Joy Reid that also had it on her show.
Probably.
Right.
But Project
and Rachel.
on Wikipedia. It's really cool. So, I mean, again, all this information. What's good about the Wikipedia information is that it gives you all of the links to all of the people, all of the official, like the Washington Post that has interviewed some of these people. You have what's the other news? There was a couple of news agency, Axios also, and a bunch of media that are on top of this. But it is, folks, it's kind of scary when you if these people get into office. I mean, we got a glimpse of it when Trump was in office, but the people that were trying to implement this, like some of the people that were on his team, they couldn't get away with it because there was too many people that were still in allegiance to the Constitution. But the new administration that they're planning to have will have no allegiance to the Constitution. So,
Even though they try to claim that they deal with the Constitution. That's the funny part, that it's so many contradictions in that document that is ridiculous.
Yeah. So, Elise, what do you know about this stuff? What? 'Cause I know you are passionate about it. Why should people know about this?
I think people should know about it because I think we spend too much time being in the dark and reacting to stuff. Now, we're very reactionary. Once it hits us, then we do something. You need to be prepared and understand. People are, it's like, why should I vote a certain way? Why shouldn't I vote? Why should I vote at all? Understanding that there are plans for it. And the results from 2016 demonstrates how not voting or voting the third party ends up in a place where we don't want to be. So you need to know, because, looking at the 4 pillars, when we start looking at those parts, they're looking at every form of government. And they're actually out here already recruiting people to come in and take over these federal jobs. And that's a key component that people need to understand. They're already, if you go to their site, you can sign up to be trained now to take over positions when they come in, and just how they want to do it and how much power they want to give to the person the puppet that they're going to control in the presidency. And understand they want to take over the entire executive branch of the government.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't think people realize what that means and the impact that it would have across the country. And the people behind it is, and there's so many people. The list of people and organizations behind this is overwhelming just to look at. Over 400 people in there, and there's some people, and I think it's just important because you need to know what they're trying to do, what they're trying to undo, the rights they're trying to take from people. That's the biggest part to me, is just looking at the rights they're trying to take from you. And it's not so simple as, so they're just going to deal with gays and abortions. It's not that simple. That's what they want you to think. That's the myth that's out there. They don't want you to focus in on the real stuff that they're trying to do to you, and and how they have outlined what they're actually going to do in that first 80 days. He's already said the first day I get in, they've already outlined the first 180 days.
I mean, they're really trying to systematically dismantle governmental systems, get rid of the FBI, dismantle police departments, getting rid of the IRS,
the Department
doing
of
away with
Education.
judges that they don't agree with. I mean, it's a complete shit show.
Right.
Here's
the Department of Education.
Here's something from the website. The plan proposes slashes U.S. DOJ funding, dismantling of the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security, and gutting environmental departments of education and commerce. I mean, that's pretty much the government.
Yeah, that is the government.
I mean,
you're talking about the border. You're talking about the judicial system. You're talking about law enforcement. You're talking about education. I mean, that's literally the backbone of America. All those things.
Yeah.
And commerce. You're talking about commerce. How businesses operate. That's I mean, that's everything. And the health education piece is very interesting to read. They go all the way down to discipline. They talk about everything in this document. And people just need to be aware of that, and defunding, you want to take education departments out And then and we already know block grants have been a disaster, especially for Black areas. In Jackson, Mississippi is a prime example of what happens with block grants.
Oh,
Turn
really? I'm
everything
gonna
into a block grant. Hey, Brian.
Mr. Brian is Mr. Brian Young is in the building. Another nerd.
Yeah. Hey, I'm proud.
Nerd Nation is in the building.
This is a new. It took me a while to go, get set up.
This is not your old Touch Base Daily. This is not IG.
Yeah. But good to see you guys. Happy Friday. Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. Here's another. I mean, this was. When I read this, I said, I was like, this is kind of crazy. To dismantle all these other areas. But here's something that was really interesting. The Washington Post from the Washington Post. Project 2025 includes immediately invoking the Insurrection Act of 1807 to deploy the military for domestic law enforcement and directing the DOJ to pursue Trump's adversaries.
I mean, what that basically means is he's going after all the people that he's felt wronged with and throw them in jail and then start locking up people and doing like camps and just throwing people in jail.
But you know what was interesting to me is that as I was reading this, I felt like I was reading something from the Hitler manuals. It was so strikingly like, they really have this thing planned. They like going to school. They want people to register for what they call their academy, where they will teach you how to be a part of this new government. Then they have the enforcement part. Then they have the actual manuals that they give out. The manual is about this thick, y'all. It's not a small little book. It's a manual.
1,000 pages.
It's a 900. I think it's 906 pages or something like that. It's huge, and it is something to keep our eyes on, and that's why we're bringing it up. Obviously, we don't have all the facts. I said we have the facts that we're going to share from what we have gathered, but we're not the journalists, we're not the researchers, but what I hope will happen, whoever sees this video, is that you will begin to say, wait, what is this 2025? I never heard about it, and start diving into it and start trying to figure out what is happening and what are their plans. This is major. This is a major part of the plan. I've heard this on MSNBC and I've heard on CNN, so I know that they've covered this. And also, obviously, the Washington Post. Project 2025 includes immediately evoking the Insurrection Act. And the whole key is what goes on in the first 180 days, because they feel like whatever you can do in the first 180 days of government, when after the inauguration, you affect the whole policy of your.
You set the tone.
You set the tone.
Right. But and I just want to remind people that he has said out of his mouth that on that first day, he's going to be a dictator. And those are the things he's going to do. He's going to invoke martial law. He's going to start going after anyone that opposed him. And you're absolutely right. And I've said this before, this handbook, as far as it looking similar to what you say Hitler, they used, the Nazis used. Well, you remember the Nazis got parts of what they used from America. So this has been going on forever.
It's a circle, right?
The book banning is like book burning. So
yes,
it's all a part of the whole thing. And so it's been out there. This is the plan. And some of the exact language is the same.
Yeah. Here's another one. Project 2025 consists largely of a book of policy recommendations titled The Mandate for Leadership. The conservative promise for an accompanying personal database open for submissions. Now, that was the most interesting. Another part is to create a database of all the people. It sounds like I'm listening. I felt like I was like, am I looking at a script to a futuristic movie? But this is.
I'm going to tell you what you're looking at. You're looking at Parable of the Sower and Parable of the Talent. They ended up building camps for people.
Yeah.
And putting them in the camps. And they talk about camps.
Yeah, they do.
So It's the exact same kind of thing that's talked about it when you talk about science fiction. Hers was a science fiction novel. It's actually living out through all of this craziness.
Yep.
And so now, and what they
Wait,
also
well,
done.
hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Let-
Oh, yeah.
go ahead, Brian. Brian wanted to say
Brian has
something.
Yes,
Yeah, Brian.
Brian.
A couple of things. I mentioned to Ron and I read the entire project. I had to take a shower when I finally finished it.
Yeah.
But it's been out there since last year. It's platforms like this and conversation like this help to spread the word that take this serious. For me, it was the equivalent of, I try to watch Fox News. It's like putting my hand over a flame to see how long I could.
Exactly. Same here. Same here.
Reading this entire, and it wasn't in one sitting. Like it's a lot of pages.
It's a lot.
And I pull it up again. I have my notes from all the times that when I was reading, I'm like, what? If you do it in parcels. I started, I think, at the end of last year, and I just finished it last week because of life. Now, specifically, I try to think, okay, make it plain. Like for those that like have, I just got a message from somebody earlier this morning. They didn't know that we were going to be having this conversation, but I had mentioned Project 2025 and this assistant, and she was like, oh, well, my brother says he's voting for Agent Orange because he's gangster. And I'm like, have your brother read Project 2025. How does it relate to people at a grassroots level? The first one that you mentioned that is out there is Agent Orange and their plans to invoke the Insurrection Act on day one. How does that make it plain to people? I marched on Washington after George Floyd's murder. That was height of COVID. Me, several others from our community, that would be squashed. Think about near the end of former President Agent Orange term, and the demonstrators were in the, if you've been to the White House, in that park that's across from the White House, and Agent Orange walked out and held up that Bible for
the Bible, the upside down Bible.
Yeah, that this would allow him to basically have our U.S. military, who it's against our law to operate on U.S. soil. This pushes that aside and now gives him the authority to have our U.S. military shoot peaceful demonstrators, to kill peaceful demonstrators. So that remember I got the Women's March when our sisters showed up in D.C., wearing their pink hats, peaceful marches. If he doesn't like it, he can, according to this plan, and he can say, go ahead, go, squash that. Some of the other things: Department of Education, Commerce, Health and Human Services, Agriculture, HUD, Housing and Urban Development. One thing they don't have, they didn't give the whole recipe away. They kept some ingredients.
Oh, it's got to be. They're not giving you they're not giving you everything, but
it's enough there that I would encourage. How much time do any of us waste, or to come down for something, or if you're in the bathroom handling your business, you're sitting there on your phone, pull it up and just scroll and glance. The two things that I would and I'll hand it back. I wrote his name down. Michael Hirsch at Politico. I read his article. He did an article on this back in I think September on the Republican takeover and their plan. Very thorough. Ali Velshi from MSNBC, he did a great summary. end of the year, maybe last year, September, October. Do some homework because I can't remember the exact time frame. But if this seems surreal, in my opinion, the one failure that we cannot afford to have is a failure of imagination.
Yes.
If this stuff happens, they are planning, and I want to preface this. Sorry, no, it's not just this election, because one of the documents I was reading, this is a plan for the next 3 to 4 presidential elections. So when, I'm going to put positive words out there, when Agent Orange loses this election and President Biden is reelected, I don't want our broader community to think, oh, whew, I did my work.
I did my due diligence.
Look at what they did to Roe v. Wade, and now look and how long they were after that. And look at this plan.
And look what's happened in that 1 year since Roe v. Wade. Look at Alabama. We talked about it yesterday. You've got companies moving out of the state. You've got people that actually have their embryos stored that they want them moved to another state, and they're actually traveling to other states to get their in vitro fertilization, their IVF treatments. So do not take this lightly. You know, they say, oh, it's just talk. No, these are documents that someone actually sat down and wrote all this out. This is a roadmap and a plan. Just like war, when you have roadmaps and plans laid out and how you're going to defeat your enemy, this is exactly what this is.
And when you go to the website, it literally is laid out. And I'm going to just go there for just a moment so you can see it again, because it really is remarkable. For instance, this is the playbook. And you go through it. It says 180-day playbook. It lays it out, and then it leads you back to the mandate for leadership and the conservative promise. Right now, there's about 100 conservative organizations that are part of this. There are several others, but there are 100 that are like financing and contributing to this and making this all happen. But this is the 180-day plan. It is real. And then also the other part of this whole project, this is from their website. It has what's called the Presidential Administration Academy to train people in the way that they should be able to implement these new laws and new legislation that they plan to put out there. And then it also goes into the presidential personal database, which is all the people. It's almost like who's who in this whole movement. And if you're not, you are. I mean, we remember back when unfortunately, when the Jewish people were going through the Holocaust, they had little stars. They had little ways of having to know who each person was. But it is worth it. Again, we bring this to your attention, not so much to dive into all this, because it's a lot to dive into, but you have to take time to know what's going on. It is so important. And so here's something, and I'm going to just bring this up real quick. And Elise, you have anything to share? Because I know.
Yeah, I wanted to say,
we've been sharing so far.
Even if you go to Wikipedia, read that, but you can also go to the manual and read the foreword. Yeah. Because it talks about what the next conservative president should do. And this one part is like what we're actually experiencing now, right? So it says the next conservative president must make the institutions of American civil society hard targets for woke culture warriors. This starts with deleting the terms sexual orientation and gender identity, diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, and we've been hearing all of that now, where they're eliminated gender equality, gender equity, gender awareness, gender sensitivity, abortion, reproductive health. I want women to pay attention to it. That's what I've been trying to emphasize to people over and over again. Stop just thinking about abortion. This is about reproductive health. This is about a woman's health, not just one item. That one item is what they do to, as they say, that's the thing that stimulates people. That's the thing that riles people up.
That's their little
carrot. That's
carrot.
the thing that gets you out there. And any other terms used to deprive Americans of their First Amendment rights out of every federal rule, agency, regulation, contract, grant, and piece of legislation that exists. They want to take it out of everything that exists.
Yeah, freedom.
And so, and we're looking at how all of these things are being under attack now. Take away all of these companies where they had. My daughter used to work for. She just left Amazon. They had a full-fledged office that was working on their diversity program. That office no longer exists. As soon as the Supreme Court made that ruling, it was gone. And so that's what they want to do. And that's what they said. That's one of the first things they want this president to do, is get rid of anything that protects anyone other than a white man.
Yeah.
Be clear. Anyone other than a white man. And that includes white women need to realize they're in the bucket with us.
Yeah.
This is about white men.
They want to ban.
They are all in the bucket. Everybody's in the bucket. Here's one from Wikipedia, which is from their actual manual. Pillar 1, a 30 chapter, 920-page book called The Mandate for Leadership. The conservative promise presents a consensus view of how major federal agencies must be governed. And I'm going to just I'm going to go through these real quick. Pillar number 2, a personal database to be collated and shared with the president-elect's team, open to the public for submissions. Pillar number 3, an online educational system called the Presidential Administration Academy, which we just saw. And pillar number 4, which we saw also, a playbook designed for forming agency teams and drafting transitions plans to move out upon the president's utterances of "So help me God," whatever that means.
Yeah. So how are they activating, right?
I was like, what is that? And again, we have to tell our community. The whole purpose of us sharing this, because one is, I know Elise was very passionate about this. Also, a couple of people in the community also reached out and said, Ron, we need to be talking about these things that are going to help our community that are not so mainstream. But we have to mention to our families, our relatives, because that's how we're going to reach people to vote. They're going to have to make this, I always say that this election is life and death. Well, it may sound like we were crying wolf or in the past, but this is for real.
This is for freedom.
Yeah, this is about freedom.
Individual rights. The main reason why a lot of people used to immigrate to this country is for the opportunity for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they are striking all those things away. They don't want immigrants to come to this country. This country was built on immigrants. They don't want you to have an education. They don't want you to learn history. And here's the thing. These are not just plans that they want to implement. They've already started doing it. Like, look at states in the South. Florida has stripped away a lot of these things already.
Yeah.
They've been doing, basically, I consider what they've already been doing, those are the appetizers before the main course.
Yeah.
And I implore everyone. I don't know, I don't like using absolutes, but there's a couple of things that are shared amongst everyone on the planet. I assume everyone has got a full plate. There's only so much you can juggle.
Yes.
People wondering, well, I the alternator went out on my car. I got to hustle to get money for the alternator for my car. You got to be able to walk and chew gum on this one, because if once this horse leaves the barn, I don't know how we get it back, or how we get democracy back. There's been I'm drawing a blank on one of the experts that was on MSNBC that covers other countries. It's been 30, 40 years, and how countries that have lost democracy and try to get it back, if they do get it back, it is not the same democracy. It is not.
Not at all.
You know,
The one thing about democracy, first of all, I know people say, well, Ron, when I have friends that talk, I do have these conversations with some of my friends, and we're not a real democracy, yada, 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 yada. Well, we're as close to a democracy as we're probably going to get. But what is something that we are clear about is that once democracy is gone, it's gone. And you look at Russia. Russia had a democracy for a moment. Remember when they, after the Reagan years, and then you had the Russian became electing their presidents, and then Putin got in and said, it starts with me. We're not having any more elections. Well, we're going to have elections, but I forget what they call the kind of elections they are. But again, I always say to folks, look at Hungary right now. Hungary was a democracy 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it was a democracy. You look at Venezuela. 8 years ago, it was a democracy, a full democracy. And now these instruments are being used not only just for here in America that's planning to be for America, but it's moving around the world.
We talked about this yesterday. This is not a singletary thing. This is a global trend that is happening, and you have to pay attention to trends, because just look at the pandemic. It started in one country and it spread across the globe, and that's exactly what's happening now. This thing has been spreading for a long time. It's a slow-moving disease, but it is fully encompassing, and it is taking over the world that we live in, and we need to pay attention to it.
Yeah, so it's Chris. When Chris made that comment, it's like the frog that's in the water and it slowly heats up.
Yeah,
and you don't realize what's happening to it. You're actually being cooked, right? And so that's where we are. Like, in looking at all of these countries, when you look at the things that they say the president should have the right to do under this plan, that's exactly what Putin just did. Although he died of natural causes, right? We know he tried to poison him before, but that's what they want him to have the right to go after any opponents, which means, if you think about it, will you ever have a fair election after that?
No, you would never.
Because as opponents rise, you're saying he would have that person would have the right to have those people arrested or whatever, right?
His lawyers already admitted in open court that he could get SEAL Team 6 to go out and take out his rivals. I mean, come on now. He said it in open court.
This is what
and not be and have no consequences, which is the thing that they're saying. He could commit crimes and not have a consequence for it. And
Total presidential immunity, as he would say.
Right. Well, and I think that one of the things that happened the last time, people kind of fluffed it off and say, these people aren't joking. They're in for the long haul. They're coming in to take over, and they have a plan to do so. We can't sit by and play games. Like I tell people, I will say again, this is not a time to say, I'm not going to vote, or I'm going to a third party. There's no third party person that's going to win.
That's right.
And right now, we need to win.
We
cannot afford to lose.
And if I could add on to what Elise is saying, I often echo that and extend. Listen, the talk it grinds my gears. It grates on my nerves. Well, Joe Biden's too old. I'm gonna say his name. Donald Trump is not that bad. Well, I wish we had. This is where we're at. The reality right now. We got these two. Period. Get your head out of somewhere else. This is where we're at. This is the reality. No, ain't nobody else joining in to replace Biden. I'm gonna ride President Joe Biden like a horse at the Kentucky Derby, because he's a decent man. He believes in the Constitution. no candidate is perfect, but people who are, well, I'm just going to write in, if it's either or, either you
when it
voted
comes
for,
down to,
that's it.
is democracy or no democracy at
Yeah.
this point. So you already know the plan. The plan is right there. It's not like it's hiding from us. It's not like, oh, I don't know it's coming. Well, just go straight to the website. It's on Wikipedia. It's on their website. If you want to order the book, you can apply and get the book. I mean, you can read through it.
I wouldn't give them my money.
You don't even have to order the book. You can just go online, download the entire book. I downloaded. You can look at it, read the entire book for free.
That's right.
They're not charging you to look at it for free. You can look at it for free. I know Lisa had a question. Lisa asked who authored the book. Well, it's authored the document. It's over 400 contributors to this.
Yes.
So it's a lot of people that went into conservative people who went in, and I stopped calling them conservatives. These are extremists.
These are not conservatives.
They're not, because we all have some conservative components of ourselves. This is not conservatism.
No.
This is extremism, and we need to call it what it is. And you go in there are all these people, and you can look at the whole list of people who contributed. You can look at the companies that supporting it right now, and then you can look at the 5 different sections. Of the document, and I would say that if you don't want to read the whole document, which one of the 5 sections interests you? Which one is more vital to your survival? Because and they've already said publicly. You have Republicans now who have said publicly, and even some of the ones who serve in the House of Representatives, they want to destroy the government. They want to destroy the democracy.
That was the purpose.
And that's their purpose.
Here's a quote, and here's a quote from I forgot. This is Senator Chuck Grassley, who has promised a 3-week reign. This is his quote: a 3-week reign of terror should Trump name him acting attorney general. That is his quote, quote unquote. Then you have also Kash Patel. I don't understand the people of color. Who are the people of color that are in this thing? But anyway, Kash Patel on Bannon's podcast 2 days earlier of that statement that we will go out and find the conspirators, not just in government, but the media. We're going to come after you. And so these people they have an agenda. It is real. It is in our face. But again, I know I'm very critical of the Black community when it comes to our radio and media, that we don't talk enough about this stuff. I think, yes, we need some boogie down music. We love our boogie down music. We love our entertainment, but somehow as Black leaders, Black people on media, on platforms, all of us, we all have to talk about this stuff. We have to engage our audiences and say, you know what, guys? Hey, yes, let me take a moment to let you know what's going on. Even if you just took 10 minutes or 5 minutes out of your whatever to just make people aware, say, hey, guys, check out this Project 2025. It will help you. If you don't know how to vote, this might help you. This might help you in understanding why you should be voting in 2024. This might help you in understanding and giving you the whys. Because face it, people need a why to vote. People need to have a reason to vote. If there's no other reason than the understanding, if the Democrats do not win, this is across the board. We need across the board. This has to be stopped from every angle, every level in government, even, and I always mention, all elections begin where? Home. Hometown, small elections. Those elections matter. Your legislative bodies in your, like the PTA president matters.
Oh, absolutely.
The sheriff matters. The board of your co-op matters. Every single election matters, and we must participate. But so again, I mean, we have this here. Read up on it. You can review this, this information. It's 12:15, so I know we're going to run out of time.
Oh.
But
Ron, can I add one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead, Lise.
Because with this particular piece that you have right here, the one that you can put that back up there, because I need everyone to understand they're also going to be monitoring all of us.
Yes.
They're
going
going to
after
monitor
all of
how
us.
you move in every electronic thing that you have. They're going to monitor what you're saying, what you're putting on platforms. Just like over in Israel, they're monitoring people's comments and statements and what they're saying. And even if they have the slightest hint of being sympathetic, going after them and arresting them, they're going to monitor us the same way they talk about monitoring it if you're not in the government. They're coming from everyone who is not conforming to their ideals.
That goes along with one of the that's in the document. They want to give the power of the FCC and the FTC to the president, who they assume would be Agent Orange. The FCC, Federal Communication Commission, basically say if MSNBC or any more middle of the road or liberal news organizations saying stuff that may be factual but he doesn't like, done. If we're on phone, hey, they don't like what we're doing, done. Federal Trade Commission, Ron DeSantis in Florida was battling with Disney. If they don't like a business whose leanings don't go the way that they want, done. We're gonna make it very uncomfortable, as they say in mob speak. It's I respect the time, but one thing I'd like to just come back to, it's a lot to take in. Make it plain. Seriously, I just think of what my pastors was. Make it plain when they get really deep into the Bible. Like, huh? Okay, make it plain. Like, how does this impact you? Make it plain. The power of the FBI. Another note under the presidency. I know there's a lot in especially in the African American community, a history of trumped up charges, but I think we've evolved in some parts where we kind of believe in the criminal justice system a bit, even though it hasn't been fair to us. They can just arrest like political adversaries, any of us, with no evidence. Right. Period. And I'm sorry, if you're scared, you should be.
Yeah, you should be scared. That's one thing. If there's anything you should be, is scared. And I also, again, I say you can always look to other countries where they're at. You can look at Russia. Like this weekend, they just arrested 400 people because of their affiliate, just saying they were upset about Navalny not being executed or killed. So Omar says freedom of speech is not free, and you can imagine if this is implemented, there'll be no more freedom of speech. People don't, and I know this is. It's like I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. I hate that analogy, but I use it. But what it is the thing. Most Americans our age, I would say my 60s self and younger, we really don't understand, unless you read and study it, what a world without democracy would look like.
Right.
Most people have no clue that the freedoms we have, like people like Jamel Shabazz and all the military people that have gone to the military to fight for our freedoms, whether you agree with wars or not, we do have our freedoms. Now, is it what we call utopia? Never. Mm-hmm. However, you have no idea, for those that have never been to a third world country or a country that is doesn't have the freedoms that we have here. You don't know what it's like. I mean, just take a trip to Dubai. Just go to Doha. Just go to the Middle East. Just go to different places. And you will see how people live. You will see how women have to conduct themselves a certain way. You have no idea what it is to. I was talking to my, I'm a pizza junkie, so I have Mediterranean pizza. So I go to my, to justify it. So I go over and I'm talking to my Middle Eastern friend who's from Syria. He owns the Mediterranean restaurant. He's from Syria. And we have our conversations when I go over to eat. And he goes, brother, he's a Muslim brother. He says, brother, he says, why is it that these Americans don't understand what they have? Because he fled from Syria, lost his family. To live here in America, to get the freedoms. He has a restaurant. He's living his best life, a life that he could have never imagined in Syria. He goes, Ron, every morning we had to get up and salute to the photo of the person that was in charge. Every morning, every home had to have the leader's picture in it. So you had to get up in the morning and address allegiance to the picture, to the leadership. We have no clue in America what it looks like to be under dictatorship or autocrat or some kind of defunct democracy that they make it feel like it's democracy, but it's not. Like in Russia, there's an appearance of some freedoms, but they have no freedom. So again, this is something to be very afraid of. That's why we took the time out to share this. I hope if it makes a dent in just one or two people walking away from here and saying, you know what, I didn't know this. I didn't know this was that serious.
Yeah.
Then this whole was worth it.
Just looking at when we think about commerce and Black businesses and things like that, and how they're systematically going after trying to destroy anything that says Black in it, or of color. They're going after it and saying it's against the 14th Amendment. They're already trying to dismantle any progress you've made. And on the side of education, you're not, our HBCUs, a lot of them are parts of state government institutions. They're going to literally be destroyed.
Yeah.
Understand what position we're in, because all of those things they're going to go after. They're going to go after everything. And I think that's the part that we really have to be conscious of, is that, as you said, we're not trying to frighten anyone. We're just trying to enlighten people so that you know and are aware of what's going on. And when someone says something to you, you can say to them, hey, I have these 4 or 5 bullet points. You do what they do. Make it real simple, like Brian said. Give 4 or 5 things.
Mm-hmm.
You don't make them long, just 4 or 5 things that you know will impact somebody's thinking. And share those things to people who are sitting on the fence or saying they're not going to vote or they're going to do something else. Just find out what those bullet points are for you and what's important to you, and share those things with people.
Thank you, Elise. Well, guys, like I said, this was a nice little chat, talk, and I hope you guys walk away with learning something. Hopefully, my job here is to hopefully allow you. My belief system is you should always leave here smarter than you arrived. So if you ever come to Touch Base Daily, you're ever here in this community, you are supposed to leave smarter than you arrived. That is the goal. That's my goal. And everybody that's in this community, we're all about educating ourselves, educating to what's going on in the world, because you cannot make accurate decision making without knowing all of the facts.
Yes.
So try to gather as much information as you can about what's going on in the world. And I cannot, and I'm going to reiterate it, guys, go to the website and look it up. Go to Wikipedia. If you go on the Wikipedia, and put in Project 2025 and go to their layout, they really do a great job in laying it out, breaking it down, connecting you to all the leaders, all the senators, all the people that are in the administrations. They really lay out. You can go. It definitely is a rabbit hole, but I think it's a rabbit hole worth digging.
It shows how intertwined. It's not just it. We're battling, Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas's there.
Alito. It pulls it all together. These people are in place already. A lot of these people are in place. I need to let you guys go, but in Congress, you have right in the House of in the House, you have the person leading the House that is allegiance to this Project 2025.
Right.
He's already in place. If
Right.
something happens to, God forbid, if something happens to Biden
And Harris.
and Kamala Harris, guess who becomes president?
Speaker of the
Speaker of the
House.
House.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's already in place. So there's a lot of Americans. I mean, we have to know our government. We have to know it. We have to know it. It's more than enough to go out and rally in the streets. Yes, we can do rally in the streets, but we need to know why we're rallying, why we're out there in the streets. As photographers, we're photographing it, we're sharing it, but we need to know why we are out here.
And you need to, someone put it out, someone put it in earlier. It's like they hope that the Democrats have a counter plan.
Yeah.
It's also, what are our plans? Like, we have to start honestly thinking about, what do you do, and not just to be out there. These people aren't all out there marching on the street. You don't see the Federalists who are out in the Heritage Foundation. These are the people that got together the list of Supreme Court and federal justices.
That's right.
These are those people.
And they're not
ones that have
they're not marching.
Supreme Court that you got now. These are the people that helped put that Supreme Court together. Y'all need to understand that. These are those people. And so understanding how that operates and the impact that they have, and how we need to, they started writing in 2022. And I don't know how many people remember me saying after that election, we need to start planning now. And I think people just thought, oh no, we don't need to do anything. We can listen to music. But yeah, I'm listening to music and reading this document. I'm listening to music and trying to figure out, how do we connect together? How do we get the information out there so that we don't go down the rabbit hole, that we don't end up getting buried alive, which is what they're doing. But these are the exact people, I need people to really understand, that are responsible for some of these federal judges we have, who have lifetime appointments, and this current Supreme Court makeup.
Yeah, because I mean, when Trump picked them, he picked the list from the federal society.
Right.
So we already know, and this was written up by the Heritage and the Federalist Society. And people that were a part of it. So guys, thank you guys. I'm gonna let our guests go. Thank you, Elise, for coming on. Thank you, Brian.
One more. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what's up, Papa?
4 years ago today, we lost Ahmaud Arbery, a brother that was simply jogging and refused to answer to white men in a pickup truck who felt it was their entitlement to stop a brother that was just jogging, regardless if he went through a house that was in the midst of being built or not. So I don't want to end on a negative, but that's something.
No, that's good. We're remembering that. We remember the family. We remember the moment, and we'll remember what happened. But thank you guys. I'm going to let you guys go. Chris, I'm going to keep you for a moment. And guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris.
Have a good one, guys.
Wow, I love. This is the first time having 4 people on at the same time. So, but this was, if you learned something, please put in the chat box, in the comment box. If you enjoyed this, hit likes. Click on the likes in your YouTube. Also, if you haven't subscribed to us, hit the subscribe button. I know there's some folks over in our Instagram. There's about 3 or 4 people over there. If you are in the Instagram world, come on over to our YouTube channel, which is Touch Base Daily, so you can participate and you get the full experience. It's so much better on our YouTube channel. And also, as a couple of announcements, tomorrow is going to be a great day. We're going to be at the museum. At the Brooklyn Museum. So if you have not gotten your tickets, get your tickets today, and then meet us there. We will be at the Brooklyn Museum, hanging out and looking at the exhibition called Giants, art from the Dean collection of Switz Beats and Alicia Keys. We will be together from 2 to 4. I will be there probably 11 o'clock. I may be doing the live, somewhat of a live from the museum around 11 o'clock. So I will be there early in the morning because I want to roam around and see some of the artwork and just kind of take it all in. And so that's happening. And then after, I'm sure that some of us will get together because our folks like to get together after we meet, do our meetups. So it's a meetup with our meetup group, and also some folks from the Touch Base Daily family are coming out. So it's going to be exciting. We'll be meeting in the lobby downstairs, in front of the, just slightly in what they call the atrium. Okay, and what else? Again, I will keep announcing this as well because check out Long Journey Forward, Black Men in Passage. That is Jamel Shabazz and Howard Cash's event that's going on at the Wilmer Jennings Gallery on the east side at 219 East 2nd Avenue and in Avenue B in New York City. So those are two main events that are happening. There are much more things that are happening. We'll have more listed. But just so you know that that's happening in the city. Pop this off the screen, and I see some of these wonderful comments popping in. I see enjoy the museum. Yes, because Trish, you're in California, so you won't be able to make it. And for all those on the West Coast, keep your prayer. Please pray for the folks on the West Coast. They had some major rains, and I just was looking at the news report of all those homes that are sliding off the hills in the mountains. So keep those people and keep our American citizens in your prayers on the West Coast. Okay, Chris, you got any last words, sir?
No news today. No news today.
No last words?
Enjoy the weekend, everybody, and we'll see you here next week.
The final word?
That's the final word.
The final word, guys. And so join us again. We'll be together again on Monday. Like I said, Saturday will be like a half kind of, show. I'll pop on from the museum. And thank you guys for all the love on the 60th birthday. I appreciate all of you. This could not be possible without all of you who support me in doing this every day. I thank God for you all. You are my pillars. You're the good pillars. I could not do this without you. You support me and you encourage me, and I am so thankful. And so again, thank you so much. I will do the outro and have the music go for about a minute or two, so that way you guys can exchange information, say hello, and chat it up a little bit in the comment boxes, because that's how we do at the end of our Touch Base Daily. And then I will I'll just click it off. Okay, guys. So I'll see you guys on Monday.